Well, let's now bring in Awol Allo. He's a lecturer in law at Keele University. He joins us now from London. Awol, as this Tigrayan advance continues, I want to start with these reports we've been hearing of a crackdown on Tigrayans in the capital. I know there have been these reports for some time now, but these incidents really do appear to have been escalating in recent days. So just how widespread is it?
Yeah, so the crackdown against ethnic Tigrayans basically began when the war began exactly last year around this time, where ethnic Tigrayans in the security intelligence forces, in the civil service were removed. Those who were armed were disarmed. And there was a significant escalation of anti-Tigrayan rhetoric, at the center of government, and that has been an ongoing process. But right now, as the military dynamic changed in favor of the Tigray Defense Forces and the Oromo Liberation Army, we are seeing a significant escalation of that crackdown against Tigrayans in the form of house-to-house searches, arbitrary arrests, and under the guise of the state of emergency that has been declared. But the crackdown right now is not simply against ethnic Tigrayans, but also against ethnic Oromos, who were also fighting alongside, who are also fighting within the Oromia region against the government. So I think in some ways this reflects the extent to which the government has become so nervous to the point that it is calling on civilians to go to the war front, but that is also leading civilians themselves to fight against civilians.
You mentioned some of the rhetoric there. I mean, we have seen some fairly inflammatory language from Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, so much so that Facebook even started taking down some of his posts. I see the government has also issued a statement saying a rat that strays far from its hole is nearer to its death. How worried are you that this could actually lead to ethnically motivated violence here?
It's extremely worrying, the increasing use of highly inflammatory language by senior government officials, including the Prime Minister, who consistently used languages such as cancer, weed, to refer to the TPLF in a country where there is really a very thin line between political movement and civilian groups who belong to that ethnic groups, because politics in Ethiopia is ethnically tinged. So this is extremely concerning, but I think the Prime Minister knows what he is doing, and he thinks that this is the best way to mobilize the population against what he considers to be the enemy and win the war, where in fact we have reached a point where I think the war is over. And I think, there is simply no way for the Prime Minister to redeem himself at this point.
Clearly a very sensitive situation. They will continue watching very closely. Awol Allo there, a senior lecturer in law at Keele University. Always great to get your thoughts on Aljazeera. Thanks for joining us again, Awol.
Thank you.